Joining us is Democrat strategist, former Biden-Harris surrogate Kevin Wallen. Welcome, Kevin. Happy July 4th weekend. It's hard to imagine a political enemy saying, at least my opponent still survives in this current political environment.
Yeah, Trey, good evening. It's great to be with you and happy 4th. Yeah, I love that you shared that story again, and it's so important to revisit that story every single year, 50 years to the day of this signing of the Declaration. These two great, incredible, patriotic statesmen die and are thinking about one another, connected in later life after fighting out bitterly. We were reminded about it not too long ago at the funeral of Jimmy Carter, President Jimmy Carter, when Gerald Ford's son wrote a letter that President Carter had prepared for Jimmy Carter, two bitter rivals, right, that fought it out in the 70s. Of course, Jimmy Carter defeated President Ford. And I think that is what makes America great throughout the years and centuries and decades, is this experiment that we see time and time again where people can come back together and remember that they are Americans first. So I think anytime that we can talk about these stories together, especially as Democrats and Republicans right now, I think is critically important.
Kevin, some people believe that there's been a drop in patriotism of late. Do you agree with that? And if you do, what do you attribute that to? And how can we go about getting at least a love for country with flaws and the good parts and all of our history? How can we get that back?
Yeah, Trey, it's a really good question. Listen, Gallup tracks patriotism, right, and love of country over the years, and we've seen a dramatic drop. And it's my problem is with my own party. President Biden once said and said repeatedly, you can't just love your country when you win. And that's what we see now with President Trump returning to office, a decline in that patriotic spirit within my own party. And I say to you, the words of Joe Biden to my fellow Democrats, you can't just love your country when you win. Right? That patriotism should transcend administrations, should transcend the decades and years that we're fortunate to live and be born and come to this country. So I implore those Democrats, and we see it with independents too, to come back to that fold, to remember why we're great from the very start as we embark on these 250 years. The president was in Iowa to kick off this next year of celebrations of that incredible experiment that is the American experiment that we will celebrate over this next year and as we come into the 250th year of this great American country.
Kevin, you alluded to it a little bit earlier. You and I may not vote exactly the same. Debate, contrast, dissent, all of that's good. All of that's great in a republic. But there's never been an unkind word exchanged between the two of us. So where has the decency gone out of public debate? I just don't see it much anymore.
Yeah, Trey, we've talked about this since your time in Congress. I think you have so many people that run for office to be celebrities, right, in their own regard. And this is on both sides, right? They want to grow their Twitter following. They want to be on Instagram, and they don't want to do the real work, as you did as chairman of a critical committee. That's where the real work of Congress is. It's not super sexy, but it's incredibly important. And these people, I think, run for all the wrong reasons and then are the first to attack one another, again, for likes and tweets and donations. And we've got to return to some semblance of civility. Tip O'Neill and Ronald Reagan are a great example. In the 80s, they would fight it out over Social Security, over immigration, what have you. But at the end of the day, these are two proud Irishmen that could have a drink and celebrate one another. And, Tip O'Neill went to the bedside of Ronald Reagan and kissed him when he was in the wake of that assassination attempt in 1981, right? The Democratic speaker and the Republican president. We've got to return to that. That's why I love joining you on your show, Trey, because I think it's critically important to showcase that. And the most proud thing that I've done recently is not just, obviously I'm a staunch Democrat, but I've become a South Carolinian following in your footsteps. So that we can certainly agree on.
We are delighted to have you here, Kevin. And to your point, on some of my darkest days in Congress, and I had quite a few of them, I got the most number of text and calls from my Democrat friends telling me to keep my chin up. Now, whether they wanted me to or not, I don't know, but I believed them, and they at least took the time to do it. From one South Carolinian to another, thank you for joining us on a holiday weekend and for loaning us your insight and your decency.
Thank you, Trey. Happy 4th.
Yes, sir. You too.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.